Hey everybody, sorry I was getting into the song there. Welcome back to Positive Eco News. Today we are going to be talking about a very exciting topic that affects everybody, and that is travel. Now, we know the world's a little crazy right now, and even a lot of the travel news we're hearing is a little bit frightening, but there are amazing things happening. The world is gigantic, and there's so much positivity, and that's what we have to celebrate. Now, what we want to talk about today is the impact you have as a traveler, ecotourism, and we're gonna highlight one of the most beautiful ecotourist places out there, and we want to know, what do you look for when you want to? What do you look for when you're going to go on a vacation? Do you want to go see animals in the wild? Do you want to go see nature? What is your criteria? What for you means an eco destination? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. So let's see. To begin with, you got to remember, ecotourism is a huge market everywhere you travel in the world. Every dollar you spend reflects on how a country treats its animals and its nature. If nature is important, the destination will make sure to the destination will make sure, sorry about that it will change over time to reflect what people want. This means we have the biggest power. We have the power to change the world through our spending. We are the ecotourists. We're all the ecotourists. So what are we going to do? We got to do it the right way. Ecotourism, just to give you an idea, it is so massive that they're expecting within the next 10 years, it's currently at about, I think, 600 or 700 billion. And within the next 10 years, they expect it to be at around $950 billion annually worldwide. Okay, so that is a huge amount of money. That is a lot of spending, and you can vote with your dollar. Don't forget you have the power. This is the thing I want everybody to remember. When you travel, you have the power to change the world that you're in. How do you do it? We're going to talk about a few of those things right now. But we wanted to highlight a beautiful, beautiful place. And we wanted to share with you all one of the top eco destinations in the world, which is the Azores. Now, this is, many of you, I'm sure, have heard about it, but we're going to talk about some of their efforts, because that's the thing. It's all about how these places fight to create ecotourism and promote ecotourism and actually live by ecotourism. And what exactly does that mean? What challenges do they face? So the great thing is, right now, there are responsible travel awards, and just recently they had them, and they're an international award. And what this means is now that there are travel agencies that are specializing in eco-based tourism. And another win in England, they passed an ordinance, a law, stating that travel agencies there can no longer sell tickets to exploitative shows. So no more dolphin shows, no more elephant shows, no more circuses, everything like that. When will people think the same thing about the zoo, that it's exploitative ticket sales? We'll find out. It would be great if we could just shut them all down. But we can't, because they're part of the city. So what we need to do is, if we cannot affect these animals right away, we need to create safe places in the world where they can be. And that's why places that have these sustainable attributes are so important to our world. So here we go. This is, I wanted to share with you, Forbes magazine actually was saying why you should put the Azores on your must visit list. Now, this is just one of many groups calling for why the Azores are so important. And here we can see that they're actually the world's first leading sustainable tourism destination. The Azores awarded top honor as the world's first leading sustainable tourism destination. And that's actually a true thing. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. It's not just PR. Now, what is the Azores? Now, the Azores are, as I think, as we looked at here a second ago, they are off the coast. So there's Spain, Portugal on the side. The Azores are part of Portugal. And down south are the Canary Islands, which are part of Spain. So this gives you an idea of where they are. They're very far off mainland. And you can tell, look how gorgeous that is. It's originally volcanic, and it is basically a volcanic archipelago. And it's recognized as the world's leading sustainable tourism destination. And that it was certified by a group called EarthCheck back in 2019, and it continues to win the same awards year after year. And there's no accident to it because they've put in a lot of protections to their nature. Here we have some pictures. This is an idea of an inactive volcano. People go and visit, and so beautiful. So how does this work? Basically, the governments of the Azores, they've launched an initiative to support the widespread adoption of sustainable practices across every single sector of Azorean society, whether it is food, trash, all of it must be devoted to the sustainability of the area. And they have so much industry we wanted to share with you. We didn't know this. They have green tea farms. This is a beautiful green tea farm right here. So gorgeous looking. So they have green tea farms. They have the famous Azore pineapple. And aside from just the land areas, and you can also go, there's gorgeous paddle boarding. Look at that water. It'd be amazing. Hey, Julie, thank you for joining. I just see you up there now. I want to be back here in a second and say hi to everybody. But they also have, this is not us. These are just some happy tourists. We can say that they're from Switzerland and they're loving this because what they're getting to do is go whale watching, which is a very rare thing. And I believe it's the right whale, which is critically endangered, travels through this area, and you can see these whales here, and you can't necessarily see these types of whales other places. They have dolphin watching the way it's supposed to be done without exploiting the dolphins. You just go and watch them do their thing, because if you've never been on a boat and had dolphins just swimming next to you, jumping, you don't know the true joy of watching a free dolphin. Yeah, a captive dolphin is it's just an absolute atrocity. So these are the ways to do it. So they have beautiful things, but they don't have an aquarium. You have to go into the ocean. They don't have a zoo. There are no elephants on this island. This is the way it's supposed to be. Now they do have, so originally there were no mammals at all on this island, but eventually people brought them on. Now there's a sanctuary there for animals that are in need. So even though there is no active way of exploiting animals, they do have ways to try to save the ones that are there. And it is an island, so you've got this amazing set of scuba diving as well. So everything about it is designed for the tropical life, for the natural view. There's another shot. And this, again, is in the middle of the ocean, which is absolutely beautiful. So one thing to remember is, like I said, as we travel, we have to remember that we are the ones that choose what happens. If everybody goes to the Azores, they go scuba diving and they go whale watching, and we have to make sure that the whale watching company is responsible and sustainable. But in the Azores, they have a very stringent set of rules they have to pass and a lot of regulations on how close they can get to the whales and what they can do there. So it is sustainable. But if we pick these activities, they'll continue to give us these activities. And this is what's important. How you spend your dollar can change the entire world for any animal. So these moves in positive ecotourism are the biggest changes, and we are the ones responsible for it. I want to know, where do you want to go for your eco tour? This is 1,000 miles off mainland. So that can be a little bit maybe intimidating. For some people, they might want to be towards a mainland. Another interesting thing about the Azores I wanted to share with you guys I learned is it's actually on the same latitude as Richmond, Virginia. And it's pretty close. I grew up in Maryland. So yeah, it's pretty close there. So it's a very interesting thing. Now, these pineapples may seem weird because you can't grow pineapples in Richmond, Virginia. What they did was built a series of greenhouses that it was kind of a boom and then faded off. So the good thing is they did not alter the natural landscape to monocrop. They kept it inside these greenhouses, which can then be turned into a variety of things because they're just finding ways to capture heat. So again, it's another sustainable practice. So the Azores extremely, extremely impressive and extremely, you know, sustainable. And how sustainable are places generally? Not too many like this. So I wanted to say hi to our friend Thulani, who's on here. Thanks for joining us today. And hey, Julie, I'm glad to see you there. We definitely enjoy always having the opportunity to talk to everybody about positivity. So today, when you're stressed out and you're in your car or in your house or in your office and you're daydreaming about where you want to be on your vacation, think about the beautiful nature because if you find a sustainable place, you're not only going to save animals, you're going to save yourself because you're going to go to a place where you're allowed to reconnect to nature and allowed to be in nature and allowed to experience nature, which doesn't always happen when you go travel in other places. So the good news is for today, there are amazing efforts being done to save this planet. There is sustainable travel available. There are sustainable travel agencies. You can look into them. There are a few groups that have sustainable practices, but I recommend looking into those sustainable practices because not all of us agree fully on what is sustainable. For example, Sierra and I are vegans. We do not believe that the meat industry is a sustainable industry, nor the dairy industry, nor the fishing industry. And that is something that happens at the Azores. And I did want to share with you just the one bad thing before we leave. And this is why it's important that we save the world. It's not always a beautiful place out there. Sometimes it's challenging for animals. And I wanted to just share with you real quick, what happens in the Azores because they are so far off the mainland. They're getting these mega, mega, mega animals, right? So they're getting giant whales, which are being whaled, which is why they're critically endangered. They are taking tons of giant sharks out of the ocean. And if you ever want to really see what's going on, there's a lot of controversy. Right now, Greenpeace is having a trial. We're going to keep you updated on that. We're talking to some friends that are down there. And the Greenpeace trial, Greenpeace is an organization, as many of you know, started by Paul Watson and a few other people. Eventually, Paul Watson wanted to do more direct intervention and he left. And Greenpeace stayed as more of a bearing witness form of a group. Now, there's a lot of controversy between people at direct action, bearing witness. In my perspective, it's all very important. And here's the reason why. You can take a look here, and you can actually go to Greenpeace's website. It's just called media.greenpeace.org. And you can look at the photos from their campaigns. And this particular campaign, I won't play the video because it's pretty gruesome, but you can see giant sharks being pulled out of the waters, and it's all over. You can just go through there if you're interested. Again, I'm not going to share those images right now. We want to really focus on the good, but you got to remember that the bad is what the good is responding to when it comes to sustainability, because the world would work naturally if people weren't so interested in exploiting it for profit. Julie says, truth is always the most important, and if we're going to change for the better, we must stop all the destruction, suffering of animals and humans around the world. Beautifully said, Julie. Great work. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. It's very passionate. It's great to have a group of friends like we do here that we can all just talk about it because together we are all going to find the best way forward. So remember, if you're going to make a vacation, make a positive eco one. If you want any help knowing where and how to start that journey, hit us up, let us know. You can check into sustainable travel agents. And remember, never buy a ticket to any animal show. There is no way it's going to work for the animal. But we can change the world just by visiting it. You have the power. So check it out. Check out the Azores. We've always wanted to go to the Azores. So hopefully we'll get an opportunity at some point. It looks like the trip of a lifetime and a sustainability haven. And I also understand there's tons of vegan food there. So it sounds beautiful. All right. Well, yes, have you heard of the Azores? And would you like to visit this eco paradise? Let us know. Go ahead and drop some comments in here. Let us know your thoughts on this and any concerns you may have about their eco practices. So the good news is people are out there saving the world.